Houses that are 2 million, 3 million,
$4 million
$4
houses.
and $5 million houses. And lots of times behind the walls, you don't have the slightest idea there was those houses back there. We have friends who have houses that are richer, houses that are $5 and $6 million houses, and you really can't tell from the outside. So San Miguel has everything. I think it has everything for everybody. You have little houses which are modest for about $100,000, and you can go to $7 million houses. But that's good because anybody,
There's something for
wherever
everyone.
they come, they're gonna find something either for their taste or either for their pocket.
So I was walking back to my hotel and went by, noticed this place that had a sign that said San Miguel Realty. I walked in there and met these people, and I changed real estate agents, and a lady named Gloria that works there spent about 4 hours with me that day. She rode me all over town in her car and must have showed me 25 or 30 houses, and we became close friends, and all the people that works at San Miguel Realty have become friends of mine. So I would highly recommend them to anybody. And anyway, I ended up buying a house from Philip Hardcastle, the house I've got presently, and here I am. Philip kind of walked me through it, and Gloria, and it was real easy. It was real easy. I went back to the States. He did a power of attorney for me here, and he took care of everything. The next time I came to San Miguel, I owned a home.
Phil was instrumental in that because we had met Phil living in Los Frailes. He was building a new house next door to us, and we got to know him. And we made our wishes known that we were looking to get out of town and have more space. And he had finished up this house, and the couple he had built for were not going to use the house. They were going to not move after all. And so this house became available, and this is the kind of house that we had always wanted, totally off the grid and space and lots of light. And so Phil made it all happen effortlessly. He sold our house in town and got this house, and it just went smoothly again.
Well, effortlessly for us, but probably not so for him.
Yeah, I think he spent a lot of time negotiating both ends,
Yeah.
but he did a great job.
I know, yeah.
The actual process was very easy, and we had well concessions that we had to deal with. Our property was being rented by another party that had an option to buy. So there were quite a few things involved in the purchase that were a part of that process, but the process was very, very easy.
So we wound up buying in Los Frailes. That was our first house. It went very easily. I mean, we literally came in, the realtor made motel arrangements with the dogs and everything, and closed on the house and moved in, and that was it. It was one day in the motel and into the house, so it was made very easy.
We started looking around at some houses for sale, but we definitely weren't going to buy anything. And by the time we left, we'd obviously bought a house. But timing's everything. So suddenly we had no reason to be anywhere. We could be anywhere we wanted in the world, basically. And serendipitously, that ended up down here in San Miguel. We moved into a neighbourhood, Los Frailes, and because we'd always lived rurally in New Zealand on farms and out in the country, after a few months I started to feel a bit penned in, and I missed the space and the peace and quiet of the countryside. And so we started looking around, and here we are out in the campo. It's fabulous. I love it.
There's something about buying a house that gives you a sense of investment, not just financial investment, the investment of your person. I think, during a difficult time, otherwise it's easy to just go back to the States. Stop your renting and go back. It was an interesting experience. But this way you've got an investment that's important, and you work through problems, you work through issues. And I don't think I could ever love this house like I love it if I were renting it. And it's not for everyone, but I believe that buying, if you can afford that, especially if you can leave it to someone or give it to someone in the end, is a great source of, I don't know, inventiveness in your life. And we need that as older people. We need it.
I had moved from San Francisco and Marin County with lots of noise and really wanted the quiet of the countryside and yet close to the city. So that we hunted with that in mind and finally found this gated community that was just perfect and had enough room for my little vineyard and
Dogs.
and dogs, yeah.
And now I have 2 houses. One is rented, and I have this house I have been building for probably the last 5 years.
The buying experience of both houses was very interesting, very smooth. The first house, our vacation home, we bought through a realtor and had absolutely no problem dealing with either the realtor or the closing or the owner or anything. Went very, very well. The second house, the house we're living in now, we bought from another realtor. I forget the name of it. Yeah, from you guys, and that was a fabulous experience.
No,
Wonderful.
it was a good experience.
Totally. So we didn't have any problem at any stage of the buying process.
Well, it's like just like in the States or any place else. You know, you look around until you find something that you like, something in your price range. And as far as the paperwork is concerned, really not much different than being in the States. I did have to get a permit to buy a house, which was, I don't know, at the time I think somewhere between $400 and $500. But that was no big deal, you know, because I got a really good price on the house, and then I did a lot of remodeling. An old house that hadn't been lived in. Not when I say old, it was, you know, it was not like from the last century or two. No, it was probably 60, 70 years old, something like that, and hadn't been lived in 8 years and needed a lot of work, which I did. And then that was an interesting experience. I lucked out and had somebody who was able to do the job, and it was basically a stress-free experience.